So here is that roadmap I was talking about in the beginning of this part. Two events that led to the legal framework of our constitution that we follow today. And the first event was the company rule, and the second was the crown rule. It happened. The company rule happened from 1773 to 1858, and the duration of crown rule was from 1858 to Indian Independence Act of 1947. So, in this part 3, we will be discussing about the crown rule. We will be watching out the roadmap of the crown rule because the company rules roadmap has already been given in the part 2. So I think I don't need to tell you about that because we have already revised that. But we'll look at, because we are going to revise a whole chapter right now. So we will just look at, not in detail, because in detail I've already given you explaining and given you the notes of it in the second part. So we'll be doing only the crown rule in detail. Okay. So two events led to the legal framework of our constitution, and the company rule started with the Regulating Act of 1773, Amending Act 1781. That let's now talk about revise the crown rule in detail. So Government of India Act 1858, Act of Good Governance, also known as Act of Good Governance. So here what changes and features we saw that the Governor General designation was now changed as Viceroy. Okay, because Governor General name was not suitable for administration now. To maintain the public order, East India Company was abolished, and that office was now changed as Secretary of the State. So the office changed into the Secretary of the State, and which the members also changed. So the member was directly from the cabinet. Okay, and 15-member Indian Council was given to the Secretary of the State in order to aid and advise this member of the cabinet, who was also the chairman of the Secretary of the State office. An Act of Good Government known as the Government of India Act of 1858. This is what Government of India Act was all about. Indian Council Act of 1861 happened so that good administration could establish. So for that, to make people believe that the crown is there for a good administration to be established in India, Indians was also provided to join in the administration and law making process, in order to manipulate the people that they are here for the welfare of them. So non-official members in legislative council, obviously, of the Viceroy, that extended legislative council of the Viceroy was having non-official members. And 3 Indians, Raja of Banaras, Maharaja of Patiala, and Sir Dinka Roy was the first Indian to join that legislative council as law members. Then decentralization was restored, that now once again Bengal, Madras, Agra, whatever provinces that was there, they were regaining their autonomy. Now they were not under a single viceroy or something like that. They were having their own government, own legislature. Autonomy means they are having their own legislature. That is very simple term that you need to keep in your mind. Portfolio system was introduced by the Viceroy, where a department was given to a person of that council. That executive council was having a department, and that person was having that discretion of taking the final decision. And ordinances provision was there, that in special cases or in times of emergency, Viceroy has the power to make ordinances whose life was only 6 months. Then Indian Council Act of 1892 was there, and in this legislative council became more powerful, that is increased Indians. Okay, the Indians in the legislative council now increased, but the majority was still with the British members. So empowered the legislative council to discuss the budget and questions all the arbitrary law that they think they were now able to question the executive or the legislative person who were at the majority. So now this happened. Nomination to council, Central Legislative Council and Provincial Legislative Council by Viceroy for the first time. There was a nomination by the recommendation of the certain bodies. So nomination was done by the Viceroy, and for the recommendation for the nomination was given by the certain bodies. If you remember, that as a Chamber of Commerce or municipalities or stuffs like that was there, who used to nominate some of the members so that they could be nominated by Viceroy into Central Legislative Council and Provincial Legislative Council. Then Indian Council Act of 1909, where which is also known as the Morley-Minto reforms, where Morley was the Secretary State of the India and Minto was the Viceroy, where Minto also known as the father of the communal electorate. So in this, the member further, at the Central Legislative Council, the member further increased to 60. Now non-official majority in provinces were there in the Legislative Council, and Indians for the first time was given participation in the Executive Council. Okay, so till this time they were only getting representation in the Legislative Council, whether central or provincial, but now they were also being endorsed into the Executive Council. And Minto, known as the father of communal electorate, because he was the one who legalized communalism by giving separate electorate to Muslims and other minority communities. And then Satyendra Prasad Sinha was the first Indian to be, nominated in this Executive Council, or to the one who joined the Executive Council. Okay. Then Government of India Act of 1919, the first milestone towards the independence, towards having our own constitution and our own rule in our own country. So Government of India Act of 1919, in which the first step to, for the responsible government in India happened, and the provision for electorate for Muslims, Anglo-Indians, Christians, Sikh, was there. For the separate electorate was already there, and voting power was limited. Okay. So voting power was limited. That means not everyone was getting the voting power. There were a special category or criteria for person to be eligible to vote for these, communities. So see, if I'm here I can, sense that there must be a confusion, that here I'm saying the communal electorate is there, then why it is mentioned over here. So if you remember, here in Act of 1909, Morley-Minto reforms, only Muslims were getting the separate electorate. And in 1919, Government of India Act of 1919, not only the Muslims but other communities was also getting the separate electorate. Okay. And Montagu-Chelmsford reform, it is also known as Montagu-Chelmsford reform, where obviously the first one would be the Secretary State of India, and Chelmsford is the Viceroy. So there was a central and provincial legislature, right? So for the central, it was there is no diarchy, but for the provincial system there was diarchy. And diarchy means that the provincial subject was further disintegrated into the transferred and the reserved subjects. You must remember this, that the transferred subject was there and the reserved subjects were there, where transferred subjects were the ones which contained only local administrative things, and reserved subjects were there as where the main administration happened, like the police was in the reserved subject and not the transferred subjects. Then what new things that emerged was that first, that the 6 member out of the 6 member of the Executive Council, the 6 members was there, 3 members were now Indian for the very first time. Then Office of High Commissioner introduced, which was there in the London. It was for India only, but was in London. Okay. Then budgets got separated, letters for the center and for the province, right? Now center was having their own budget. Now provinces can have their own budget. They can discuss their own budget and have their discretion over those budgets. Then budgets got separated for the very first time. Provincial, provinces was also having their discretion over budget. That is, they could make their own budgets. And Central Public Service Commission was established in 1926 for civil servants. Then Simon Commission came. The provision for Simon Commission to be, commenced after the 10 years was there, and the third round table conference also, happened. So Simon Commission was commenced before 2 years only, and the Simon Commission was getting too much of opposition from the Indians, and to make Simon Commission acceptable to the Indians, 3 round table conferences was there, in which the final white paper was there, right? That got to the the British Parliament, and then their assent was given over that. Then comes the Government of India Act of 1935. That is, All India Federation was created, in which federal, that is the central, was having 59 subjects on which it was having its power to make laws and to execute them. Provincial was having those 54 subjects, and in the concurrent list, both provincial and central could share their power. And the 36 subjects was in the concurrence list. That means that 36 subjects was there, which upon which both federal, that is the central, and the provincial could exercise power upon. Then the residuary power was given to the center. That is, not the center, but I would say that the residuary power was given to the viceroy. Okay. In our constitution, it has been given to the center, but at the time of the Government of India Act of 1935, viceroy was having all the residuary power. Viceroy could exercise all the powers that was in the residuary list. Provincial autonomy was there. Okay, provincial autonomy introduced, that is bicameralism was there, and bicameralism means there was a upper house and a lower house in the provinces, and out of the 11, 6 was there, which was along with the legislative assembly, they were having legislative council. So bicameralism was followed in 6 provinces. Established federal code, okay, common code for all the disputes. Then diarchy at the center was still continued, but at provinces it got abolished, because that is what was recommended by the Simon Commission only, that diarchy must be abolished. So in center it was there, but in provinces it got abolished, and then reserved seats for depressed class was introduced. Okay, because we know that after the Simon Commission and after the Round Tables Conference, the Pune Pact was signed, in which the communal award was abolished. The communal award was opposed by the Indian National Congress. An agreement between Indian National Congress and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was made in order to give reserved seats to the depressed classes, and that was there. That provision was there, that reserved seats for depressed classes was now there. Now, demand for Muslim League for separate country. Indian Independence Act of 1947 happened, and demand of Muslim League for separate country was there. The Mountbatten Plan was introduced in this act only, and Constituent Assembly, that is 1946, Constituent Assembly was made. For the very first time, Constituent Assembly was established, and it is also known as the mini parliament. Why? Because till our constitution was ready, it was acting as a law-making body or as a parliament. It was also responsible for making the constitution, and it was also responsible for making laws till the time the constitution was made. India was now a sovereign and independent body. Governor General was head to give assent to the bills which the Constituent Assembly was making. The bills that was passed in the Constituent Assembly before the completion of the original constitution. Governor General was a nominal head of our independent India till that time, and the assent to the bill was made by the Governor General only, and Lord Mountbatten was the first Governor General of independent India. Now the title of the King of the Britain dropped, that is the Emperor of India was dropped from the title, and the princely states was now given the choice for the very first time. They were given the total discretion in order to choose whether they want to join the dominion of Pakistan or India, or they want to stay independent. So this was all about the crown rule. Okay, there are some provisions that we will study in the next chapter, that is in the making of the constitution in detail. Okay, so that will make it more clearer to you. Till that, just revise everything that you have learned. Devote your 30 minutes into revising the chapter, into memorizing the chapter, not just revising, but try to memorize it and then revise it. Okay, then only you will be able to retain it for the long time. और क्योंकि आप अभी बहुत तुरंत समझ कर इस चैप्टर को बैठे हो, सो अभी रटने में आपका बहुत कम टाइम लगेगा एंड आप बहुत ही जल्दी चीज़ों को रट लोगे, मेमोराइज कर लोगे, एंड उसके बाद जब आप रिवाइज करोगे तो आप नहीं भूलोगे. ओके, आई होप दैट यू विल give consideration to my advices, and on Sunday we will do the test of this chapter, and I want you all to be prepared for that. So that's it for today, guys. Let's start. Let's start tomorrow with the new chapter, that is making of the Constitution. Till that, please take care of yourself. Thank you.